What's up, wine tasters? How is it Thanksgiving already? Like, seriously. As you might imagine, Thanksgiving is seriously like my favorite meal of the entire year because I use it as an excuse to bring out like 9 or 10 bottles of wine and beer and force my friends and family to try a bunch of different stuff with all the different dishes that we have on the table. It's like a dream come true for me. So there's a lot of wines out there that I feel like people are always telling us to have with Thanksgiving. I have 2 that are absolute musts for your dinner table, and so I'm going to share that with you today. Let's get to the chase here and start with wine number 1, which is Beaujolais. Beaujolais. This is a wine that comes from Burgundy in France, and it comes from the Gamay grape. Beaujolais is very similar to Pinot Noir in that it's like light-bodied, and you get a ton of red fruit flavors. Think like tart red cherry and cranberry and currant and stuff like that. Beaujolais is also kind of herbal and usually carries like earthy components to it too. Herbal, cranberry, earthy components. That's gonna pair incredible with Thanksgiving dinner. And the other great thing about Beaujolais is it's not really in style right now, so you can get a really good bottle for like under $20. So there's a wine called Beaujolais Nouveau that comes out around this time each year. That's totally fine to pair with Thanksgiving, or you can go a little bit more expensive, go for like a Beaujolais Village, or if you wanna be super baller, you can get a Cru Beaujolais. There's 10 of them out there. Usually just ask the wine shop if they have them. These are the most expensive, and seriously, they're like still only 20 bucks. But they're gonna go really well with Thanksgiving too. So any Beaujolais, great pairing, must be on the table. Take my word for it, please. Even if you don't think you will like Beaujolais, just try it because the pairing is just that good. Let's move on to wine number 2, which is Riesling. Now, before you give me that whole I don't like sweet wine bit, hear me out here. Let's think about what kind of food is on the Thanksgiving dinner table. We've got sweet potatoes, we've got cranberries, we've got stuffing. There's a lot of sweet dishes on the Thanksgiving dinner table. In general, most Thanksgiving foods are really kind of, I don't want to say bland, but they're not very powerful in flavor, and many of them have a sweet component to them. So Riesling is where it's at with Thanksgiving because it's got a hint of sweetness, which just pairs perfectly with so many of the dishes on the table. It's just a match made in heaven. So even if you're not a big sweet wine person, trust me on this one, it belongs on your Thanksgiving dinner table. Okay, so Beaujolais and Riesling are must-haves on the dinner table. I don't care if you don't like lighter wines or sweet wines. These are the wines that are going to go best with your dinner. So let's move into the runner-ups, because if you're like me, you're gonna wanna have like way more than just 2 bottles of wine on the dinner table. So if you can't find Beaujolais or you don't wanna try something new, Pinot Noir is very similar. It's a light red wine, has usually those red fruit flavors and earthy components. So Pinot Noir is gonna be a natural match to Thanksgiving dinner as well. I also really like Gewurztraminer on my Thanksgiving dinner table because Gewurztraminer is known as the spicy grape. Not as in like actually hot spicy, but that there's a lot of spice components in it. Like think like cinnamon and allspice and clove and ginger, which is of course going to complement a lot of dishes on the Thanksgiving dinner table very nicely. And I also always love to have a bottle of bubbly on the dinner table too, because nobody's gonna complain about sparkling wine if for some reason they don't like any of the other wines that I just suggested to you. And sparkling wine is a really fun way to start the party, get celebrating before dinner is even served. It makes a great aperitif, and like I said, nobody's gonna complain about it. If you wanna learn more or maybe get specific recommendations of wines that I suggest buying, I've got a whole blog post that goes along with this video. I've got the link to that in the description box below. And don't forget, we're only halfway done here with Thanksgiving pairings. I also equally love to have beer on the Thanksgiving dinner table. I might like beer with Thanksgiving more so than wine, not gonna lie. So subscribe so you can see when that video comes out, and if it's already out, subscribe anyway because I've got a lot of fun stuff coming up for the holidays, and I'd love to see you here with that. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all, and happy pairings. I'll see you next time.